Mr. Qusai Sarraf is coming.
Good morning, and great pleasure and honor to be here at the conference to share with you my experience in the last 21 years in multi-channel and omni-channel. Just a few comments about the presentation before I get going. This is not a technical presentation. Sometimes when people see multi-channel or omni-channel, immediately they think it's about technology. So this is going to be strictly about business and about customers. So hence the customer centricity. This is going to be a very practical presentation, and I'll be covering 21 years in half an hour. So that's about 8.5 months per minute. So we'll see how we get on. Just a quick introduction. I founded IVIS Group in the UK in 1994. 2007, we expanded to Asia, first to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. 2011 to China. We have an office presence in Beijing, and last year in Singapore. So we operate in 3 regions: Europe, Southeast Asia, and of course China. Our mission in life is to assist our retailers, our customers, to deal with change. Change is the only constant. We have 3 offerings. We assist our customers through strategic consulting, through technology solutions, and through services. So everything we do is focused on one thing and one thing only, which is multi-channel. One of these are examples of the customers we work with. Our main call for fame is Tesco. Tesco obviously is the 2nd largest retailer in the world after Walmart. And our journey with Tesco spans 19 years. I was one of 7 people that were at the start of Tesco.com back in 1996. And when we launched the e-commerce offering then, we had 4 orders in November 96. So this obviously has been quite a long time ago. Last Christmas we broke the 18,000 orders per hour, so we have almost 20,000 orders per hour, generating. We started with £300, 1996, first night of trading. Today it's 33 billion renminbi a year in the UK and presence in 10 countries. So it's been an amazing journey to go from nothing to one of the largest in the world over 19 years journey. And that's what I really want to share with you today. So what does it take to actually go through and follow the footsteps of a giant like Tesco, starting from nothing, the Tesco.com, and then build it 19 years later. We work with a number of other blue chip clients. Carphone Warehouse, 2nd largest mobile retailer in the world after China Mobile. Best Buy, the largest consumer electronic good in the world. In China, we work with Parkson, we work with Marks & Spencer, and we also work with Broadcast, one of top 10 women fashion brands in China. So this is the agenda. I'll start by some context setting and just give an introduction about some global trends and also what's happening in China. So our reading in terms of what's happening in the Chinese market based on our experience here for the past 4 or 5 years. Then I will also talk about some of the challenges, why multi-channel or O2O is a big deal, why there are so many failures in China. So I'll talk to you about some of these challenges and why these difficulties arise. And then after I talk about challenges, I then cover opportunities and talk about the opportunities of multi-channel and beyond. Then I will go into a very practical coverage in terms of what type of activities you need to be engaged in to build a multi-channel offering. So I'll be talking about the key challenges that you'll be facing and how to address them. So first of all, let's talk about some trends. To say that customers call the shots these days and dominate the market is an understatement. Customers, I think the best example is to quote Coca-Cola president when he said, "A good day is defined, by one where we share some of the dialogue that's happening with customers. Gone the days that we initiate the dialogue. We'll be lucky if we participate in the in that dialogue. So that's an example of just how powerful customers are today. They are the ones who decide what products, what range you have, what pricing, what promotions, how they engage with you, completely in control. So that was the first trend, that customers are absolutely decide market rules. Number two, retail is now, the best way to describe retail is to say it's a continuous dialogue. That dialogue begins long before the transaction and continues after the transaction. Customers engage with you when they want to do the research on the brand, on the offerings, on the services. They have the choice. So before they decide to buy from you, they are doing their own research. Once they finish the research and they go into the transaction and they actually buy the product, but it doesn't end there, because they go beyond the transaction into sharing, and they share their story, share their experience. So it's a little bit more complex than what it used to be. Now, here's the thing. Any retailer who think multi-channel or e-commerce is about transactions doesn't get it. You know, they miss the big picture. Any retailer who think online or e-commerce cannibalizes store revenue doesn't get the big picture. You can use multi-channel to increase footfall to stores. So you can use multi-channel to increase your trading in the store once you really understand that it's a continuous dialogue. Continuous dialogue also means you need to speak the language of the consumer. So we make a difference between buyer's view of the world and customer's view of the world, two very different views. The other interesting thing is happening, that brands and retailers are swapping places. Brands want to be closer to the consumers. They want to understand more about the trends, more customer insight. They want to understand why customers buy, why customers don't buy. So there's a lot of, if you like, they are reinventing themselves to become retailers. At the same time, retailers are trying to become brands. They're trying to differentiate themselves. If you look at department stores in China and in Asia in general, they're running at 100% concession. 100% concession means that they don't own the stock. And not owning the stock means they're not really in charge of marketing, merchandise, supply chain, customer service. All these functions are delegated to the principals, to the brands. So, but they're not doing this on their own. Everyone is doing the same. So it's the same range everywhere. So they're trying desperately now to reinvent themselves and to become brands. Hence, private label is becoming a big deal, to try to give themselves an identity. The other thing is, this is no longer about retail. A good telecommunication company is a retailer. A good media is a retailer. A good travel agency and airline is a retailer. Manufacturing, property developers, malls operators, everyone is a retailer, because all these sectors are maximizing the revenue stream that they have, and they're trying to reinvent themselves based on the customer base, based on the community they have. That's why this is a big deal. This is not about retail. It's much bigger than that. It's about the customers. If you look at the stores, so overall in general, the trends, you are doing more transaction online, but that doesn't mean stores are dying. Stores are changing, and some of the changes in the store are illustrated by this diagram here. Customers don't go to stores to buy. Customers go to the store to interact, to have an experience, to understand more about the brand. It's more about lifestyle now, not about selling, not about hard selling. There's a lot of social. Some retailers' shops are becoming museums, arts, culture. These are examples of some of the differentiation happening today. And of course, the use of technology in stores to make it exciting. So much that what successful retailers today are, they want to create a surprise. As consumers go in the store, they get surprised by a piece of art, culture, something unexpected That's what's happening today in the stores. They're not dying, they're just changing. And finally, this is an illustration of the world of multi-channel. So here, I'd just like to emphasize, when we talk about multi-channel, we don't mean online or digital. We mean multi-channel, including the most important channel, bricks and mortar, your store. And the challenge here is you have all these channels working together to the consumer. And the objective is to make all these channels appear as one, hence the term omni-channel. All channels appear as one.